Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by golden deserts and deep emerald forests, there ruled a powerful king whose name echoed through every valley and mountain. He was feared by enemies and respected by allies. His palace was built from white marble that shimmered like moonlight, and its towers touched the clouds. But the true pride of the kingdom was not the king. It was his daughter, Princess Jalinoush. Princess Jalinoush was not an ordinary princess. She was brave like a warrior, wise like an elder, and kind like a gentle spring breeze. Her long dark hair flowed like silk, and her sharp eyes carried both warmth and strength. From childhood, she did not enjoy sitting behind golden curtains or wearing heavy jewels for hours. She loved riding horses across the royal fields. She loved training with swords in the courtyard. She loved listening to the stories of the poor in the marketplace. The king had no sons. And though many ministers whispered that a daughter could not protect a throne, the king remained silent. Deep inside, he knew his daughter possessed a heart stronger than steel. When Jalinoush turned 16, she asked her father for a strange gift. She did not ask for diamonds. She did not ask for silks from distant lands. She asked for permission to sit in the royal court. The court fell silent when she first entered wearing a simple royal robe instead of glittering bridal attire. Her steps were firm. Her gaze was steady. She sat beside her father and listened carefully to every dispute brought before the throne. That day, a poor farmer came crying. He accused a wealthy landlord of stealing his land. The landlord laughed loudly and claimed the farmer was lying. The ministers quickly supported the landlord because he paid heavy taxes to the crown. The king hesitated. But Princess Jalinoush did not. She stood up. Her voice was calm yet powerful. She asked the farmer detailed questions about the boundaries of his land. She asked the landlord to show written proof of ownership. When the landlord presented forged documents, Jalinoush noticed the royal seal was slightly misplaced. She had studied the seal carefully in her childhood. She ordered the royal scribes to examine it. The forgery was revealed. The court gasped. The landlord trembled. Princess Jalinoush declared that justice did not belong to the rich. It belonged to the truth. The land was returned to the farmer. The landlord was fined and warned. From that day forward, people began calling her the Lioness of Justice. Years passed. Her courage grew stronger. Her wisdom grew deeper. But darkness was rising beyond the kingdom's borders. A cruel warlord named Zorvan ruled the neighboring land. He was known for burning villages and enslaving the weak. He believed King Jalinoush's father was growing old and weak. He believed the kingdom could easily be conquered. One night, smoke appeared on the northern horizon. Villages near the border were attacked. People fled toward the capital, crying for protection. The king called for war council. Generals argued. Ministers panicked. Fear spread like wildfire. Princess Jalinoush stood quietly until all voices fell silent. She stepped forward and said, "Fear is our enemy before the sword ever strikes." She asked permission to lead the northern defense. The court was shocked. Some protested. But the king saw the fire in her eyes. He remembered the farmer's tears years ago. He remembered her courage. He placed his royal sword in her hands. Princess Jalinoush rode at dawn with 1,000 soldiers behind her. The people watched from rooftops and whispered prayers. When she reached the burning villages, her heart ached at the sight of destruction. Homes reduced to ashes. Children crying for lost parents. She did not allow grief to weaken her. She gathered the villagers and promised protection. That night, instead of attacking blindly, she studied the enemy's movements. She noticed Zorvan's army depended heavily on surprise night raids. So she created a plan. She ordered small hidden fires to be lit across empty fields, making it seem like soldiers were camped everywhere. She placed archers in hidden positions near narrow mountain passes. She trained villagers to carry horns and create loud battle sounds at her signal. When Zorvan attacked again at midnight, he walked straight into her trap. Horns echoed through the mountains. Arrows rained from unseen cliffs. Hidden cavalry units charged from both sides. The enemy, confused and terrified, believed they were surrounded by a far larger force. Princess Jalinoush fought at the front lines. Her sword flashed under moonlight. Her courage inspired every soldier. By dawn, Zorvan's army retreated in chaos. The victory spread like sunlight across the kingdom. Songs were sung in marketplaces. Mothers told their children stories of the brave princess. But Zorvan was not defeated. He was humiliated. And humiliation turned into hatred. Months later, he sent spies disguised as merchants into the capital. They spread rumors. They whispered lies about Princess Jalinoush seeking power for herself. They bribed corrupt officials. Soon, unrest grew within the palace. Some ministers began doubting her influence. One evening, a trusted royal guard was found dead. False evidence pointed toward the princess's closest advisor. The court demanded investigation. Princess Jalinoush felt betrayal burning in her chest. But she did not shout. She did not accuse blindly. She remembered her own words. Justice belongs to truth. She personally led the investigation. She questioned servants. She examined hidden passages within the palace. She traced gold coins marked with Zorvan's emblem. Slowly, the web of deception unraveled. A high-ranking minister had secretly allied with Zorvan, hoping to weaken the throne and gain power. During a dramatic court session, Princess Jalinoush revealed the evidence piece by piece. Her voice never shook. The traitor collapsed in fear. He confessed before the entire court. The people realized once again that their princess stood not for ambition, but for justice. Years passed, and the king grew ill. His strength faded like a setting sun. Before his final breath, he held Jalinoush's hand. He said, "You were never my weakness. You were my strength." The kingdom mourned his death. Princess Jalinoush was crowned queen. Her coronation was not filled with excessive gold or jewels. It was filled with hope. As queen, she created new laws protecting farmers from unfair taxes. She established schools where girls and boys studied together. She trained female guards for the palace. Some neighboring rulers mocked her reforms. They believed kindness would weaken her rule. But they were wrong. The kingdom flourished. Trade increased. Crime decreased. People felt heard. One day, Zorvan returned with a massive army, determined to destroy her once and for all. This time, he did not hide. He marched openly toward the capital. The sky darkened with dust from marching soldiers. Queen Jalinoush stood on the palace balcony watching the approaching storm. She did not tremble. She gathered her generals and said, "We will not fight only with swords. We will fight with unity." She sent messages to villages she once protected. She called for every able citizen willing to defend their home. Thousands answered. Farmers carried spears. Blacksmiths forged weapons day and night. Women prepared supplies and trained in defense. The battle lasted 3 days and 3 nights. Fire burned. Steel clashed. Cries filled the air. On the final night, Jalinoush faced Zorvan directly on the battlefield. He laughed at the sight of a queen holding a sword. But his laughter faded quickly. Her strikes were swift. Her movements were precise. Her spirit was unbreakable. After a fierce duel, she disarmed him. She could have killed him. Instead, she ordered him imprisoned. When her generals questioned her mercy, she said, "Justice is not revenge." Zorvan was forced to witness the rebuilding of villages he had destroyed. He saw children playing safely under her protection. He saw unity stronger than fear. Years later, even he admitted defeat not only by sword, but by wisdom. Under Queen Jalinoush's rule, the kingdom became known across lands as the realm of fairness. Travelers spoke of a queen who listened before judging. A queen who fought when necessary. A queen who valued truth above pride. And so her legend grew. Not because she was the daughter of a king, but because she chose justice over power, courage over comfort, truth over fear. Her story lived in songs. Her name echoed in courtrooms as a reminder that true strength does not come from a crown. It comes from a brave heart. And thus, the tale of the brave Princess Jalinoush and her justice became eternal.